Hello, hello. I have lost 71 pounds taking Mounjaro. Can you believe that? 71 pounds. I can't believe it. That has not been the surprising part, the number on the scale. That's not what shocked me the most. What has shocked me the most is the emotional, mental side of losing weight that I did not expect. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. I'm going to talk to you about the emotional roller coaster that I have been on taking Mounjaro. But before we get into that, I just want to share with you how my weight loss transformation has looked. Like, what is going on with my body? What is going on with this weight loss? I am so excited to share this with you. So let's take a look at some of these pictures. This is where I started my Mounjaro journey. And I must say, when I started my Mounjaro journey, I was uncomfortable. I was tired. I would say pretty, not down on myself, but not feeling as confident as I normally am. And the number one thing is I just felt tired all the time. I felt uncomfortable. Like every little step I took, I felt like it was like effort into it. Can you relate to that? I felt like I was putting a ton of effort into just walking from point A to point B. And I will say that was one of the things that just gave me hope with being on Mounjaro and taking Mounjaro, that I would feel a lot better. And I have, I must say. As I see my body starting to slim down and get smaller, it's hard to believe that was me. It's hard to believe that was me. It's hard to believe that I saw myself in the mirror every day looking as puffed up as I did, in the face especially. And I just was not equipped to handle it. I was not equipped to do anything about it. I needed that extra support that I got with Mounjaro to actually be able to free myself from the weight. So that's just a quick little look at some pictures. Now let's dive into what's really going on with my 71-pound weight loss. One thing I do want to make clear, if you are new, starting any weight loss journey, a GLP-1 weight loss journey, or Mounjaro, Zepbound, Ozempic, Wegovy, any of those GLP-1s, I will say to you, losing weight is not going to fix everything. So you might be asking, what do I mean by that? And when I say losing weight is not going to fix everything, I mean that mental peace, that mental struggle, that mindset shift has to happen in order for things to click. So when I first started taking Mounjaro, I thought, hey, I'm just going to take this injection. I thought the most it would take me to get to my goal of 100 pounds down was a year. The weight was just going to melt off, and that is it. And I did not realize that I had to really work at it. It's not a magic injection. It's not at all. I really had to work at it. And so once I started losing the weight and I wasn't thinking about food as much, other thoughts started to come in my mind. I started thinking about other things. Like, if you are enjoying this video so far, subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed, and join me on my journey. My life, where I was going to be in a year from now, where I could see myself in 2 years from now, planning things in the future. And I think I've always done that, but it really set in like a reality. I could do these things, right? I will feel not so tired, that I'll be able to do a lot more. I also started feeling fear and a sadness with losing weight. Have you experienced that? I felt like a sadness, like I was losing part of myself, because my identity has been connected to this weight. My identity has always been connected to being bigger. When you start to shed the weight, you start to lose part of your identity. With that brought a little bit of fear. And when I say fear, things like wondering if I'm smaller, if that's going to attract more attention and unwanted attention, not just the attention you want, but the attention you don't want. I also feared, what if I regain the weight? And I think I still have a little bit of that fear in the back of my mind that I need to get rid of. And all those things come into your mind. You're thinking, I've come this far, what if something happens? I can't continue to stay on the medication. Like, all those fears come back. And that's when I have to center myself. Every morning I get up and I reflect on the day I had before. It's like not meditation, but it's almost like a reflection. And it's questions that I ask myself about my day. I will share those reflection questions with you at the end of this video. And I'll also put a link in the description if you want to download the questions and maybe use those yourself. But I think that reflection, that morning reflection, has been key for me. It helps me to think about my day before and think about how I can do better. And that refocusing that I'm doing, that has really helped me with the fears and a little bit of the sadness and rediscovering who I am. So the emotional part is, like I said, it's a tough part. I feel like my body was changing faster than my mindset. And even my mind has not caught up with my body, because I still walk past a mirror sometimes and I see a difference one day. And then another day, I feel like I don't look that small. You know what I mean? I don't really see the 70-pound loss. But when I actually try on clothes, that's when I'm so amazed and I realize my body must be smaller. It has to be, because I'm fitting into clothes that I could not fit. I'm fitting into a size 16, and that was not a size I've been able to fit into for a long time. Those clothes have just been collecting dust in my closet because I cannot fit them. So I know that I'm smaller, but I don't always see that. And the funny thing is, sometimes I do. Sometimes I look at myself and I'm thinking, I'm looking pretty slim. A lot of times I look at myself, though, I do not see that. I do not see that. And so that's something that I am continually working on. Another thing that has caught me off guard is people treating me differently. So I knew when you lose weight, you slim down, you may attract more people. So I'm definitely experiencing that. But I'm also experiencing like looks and stares from people that I know, from people that I know. And the good news is most people are complimenting me and saying nice things. And other people are just kind of looking and they don't know what to say or think. And I don't know why they aren't expressing what they're thinking. I didn't realize that, but talking about weight loss, it reminds me of talking about a woman that's pregnant. You may suspect that she's pregnant, but you never ask if she actually is. Haven't we all learned to do that? Not to ask. I feel like I'm like one of those pregnant ladies, right? That people want to talk about the weight loss with, but they don't really want to say anything. I'm experiencing that. And you know what? I haven't had any rude comments or mean comments, but I have had some looks of, I feel like the looks are like, she's taking that medication. Does she really know what she's doing? I feel like I'm getting those kind of looks, but it doesn't really bother me because I think most people that I interact with and that I talk to have great intentions. And if they don't have great intentions, I pretend as if they do. I try to stay positive with it. So that's just been surprising, but I am enjoying some of the perks of having somebody open up a door, run to the door to open it up for me. I am enjoying the perks of dropping something, somebody coming over to hurry up and pick it up. And that stuff was not happening as much. There was a time in my life when that happened all the time. It stopped and now it's starting to happen again. So I know what it's like to have it and not to have that going on. So I'm getting some of that going on again. And I will say it's a good feeling, but it also makes me sad knowing that people, I'm gonna have to take a break. So I was saying it also makes me sad because I see some people I know who are still struggling with their weight, going through weight issues, and I see what I went through and what I've experienced. And you don't want that for people you love and care about. And you see them starting to go through it. They're experiencing that. And you just want to be able to help them go in a different path. But people have to be ready for weight loss because weight loss is not just physical, it's also mental. I know some younger people that have weight issues that are experiencing this. And that is what really touches my heart. Now, I do want to add here that getting looks and stares and people treating you nice, that's not a reason to lose weight, really. It's the inner work that you have to do. It's the being more healthy and all of that. The goal is to gain confidence while you're slimming down. Not just wait till you're slim to start living. Not to wait till you're slim to gain confidence. One of the things I want to do on my channel is encourage people, let's gain confidence now. Let's gain confidence while we are losing. We don't have as much work to do. We're going to have some work to do, but we won't have as much because we would have learned how to be self-confident throughout our whole journey. Another thing I had to do on this journey that kind of surprised me was I had to learn how to eat again. Now, you would think at 52, going on 53, I would know how to eat. And I do. I know what a healthy diet consists of. I know all the things I should be eating. Now, did I know all the numbers, the macros, and all of that? Not really. I educated myself and learned that on Mounjaro. And the Fitness Pal app really helped me do that. But also talking with other people on YouTube and learning from different people, that also helped me with my eating goals. And so I will say, I had to relearn to eat, and not just eat less, because I think the first thing we do on Mounjaro is eat less. That's the easiest thing. We eat the same thing, we just eat less of it. And that's what I even did when I first started taking this. My doctor didn't sit down and tell me what I needed to eat, what I cut out. I guess at 52, she thought you should know what to do. At 52, you know what to do. I didn't get that lesson. I learned that over time. I learned that from tracking my calories, logging my food. I learned what macros are. So I learned all those things on my own. And I had to relearn how to eat. I had to relearn how to prioritize my protein, how to limit my carbs, eat healthier carbs. I also had to learn to make a big portion of what I was eating on my plate the veggies, right? Getting those veggies in. Another thing I had to learn is how to cook my veggies. I used to drown my salads in dressing. I had to learn to give myself the serving size of that dressing. I used to drown my veggies in butter. I had to learn how to use broth. I had to learn how to use a vegetable broth or a chicken broth. Now I don't use a chicken broth, I use a vegetable broth. But I had to learn how to use that to substitute for all that butters. And actually, I had been doing that before I took Mounjaro. But once I took Mounjaro, and I would add a little bit of butter to it. When I started taking Mounjaro, I cut the butter out. So now my veggies are probably more nutritious because I'm not cooking them until they melt in my mouth. Which greens are very good that way. I'm just going to tell you. You have to come to my house and get some of my greens. I've learned how to change my eating habits. I'm also not eating when I'm just bored, right? Because I find myself sometimes not eating until 11 or 12 on the weekends when I'm at home and I'm not working. I'm doing other things. I'm on YouTube, creating hopefully great videos, working with my daughter, helping my daughter, being creative, thinking of creative things to do at work. So none of that boredom eating, none of that overeating, the big portion sizes. I've gotten rid of that. The one thing I have not been able to shake is that emotional eating. I've noticed that when things happen that have been very stressful in the last 2 to 3 weeks, that I've thought about eating food a little bit more than normal. So that emotional eating is something that I just still have to get in check for myself. So after 70 pounds down in 15 months taking Mounjaro, I wish I would have prepared mentally for more than just weight loss, because I thought this was just a weight loss journey and that's about it. There are so many other things that unfold as you're losing weight, so many different fears and mental struggles that you have to jump over and go through, right, in order to get to the other side of enjoying that weight loss. And so I will say for 15 months, I have been able to do that. I have been able to successfully do that. And I hope to keep that going. And when I say mental struggles, I mean, just think 15 months, I've lost 71 pounds. So I'm a little bit over a pound a week, which is great. But there are some weeks that I did not lose. There are some weeks that I just stayed the same, or maybe I gained a pound or two, but I didn't have consistent big drops every week. And so that kind of plays with your mind, especially when at first you're losing steadily and then it starts to go slow. And that's why I always say slow and steady wins the race. Just don't quit. And so I have been really taking that to heart. I've even said to myself sometimes, just don't quit. To remind myself to stick in there. So that's a real thing. That's a real thing. You have to know on this medication how to push through when that scale is not moving. And that's a kind of a different mind shift, right? Because I think most people go on this medication not knowing what it's going to do, but they think they're going to lose weight. And the first sign that they get to where they don't lose weight, people kind of panic, right? They think, what is going on? What is wrong with me? And I'm going to tell you, that's when you have to buckle down and you have to kick in those tools, those weight loss tools that we all know to do, but most of us don't want to do. I should say not most of us, some of us don't want to do. And that is the tracking tracking what you're eating, tracking your calories, making sure you're in a calorie deficit, eating that protein, adding in that strength training, moving your body. And I would say moving your body is great to get that cardio in, but I would focus on the strength training. That's ultimately what you're going to need on this journey. Build that muscle and protect your bone density. You're going to have to do all. Strength training is going to get you there. So I will say do that. Another thing I will say is focus on celebrating those non-skill victories. That's something that has gotten me to the point I'm at now. Focusing on those non-skill victories. When I wasn't losing on that scale, I was thinking about the clothes I'm wearing, thinking about how slim my face looked, I wrote some things down. I got to share these because I used to avoid taking pictures. I did not want to take body pictures. I'm taking body pictures now. I used to avoid sitting in chairs. I used to be so embarrassed to go somewhere, having to think ahead. Is the chair going to hold me up? Is it going to be a tight squeeze? What kind of seating does this place have? I don't really have to do that anymore. So I love that. And then not only can I go in any seat, I can cross my legs once I get in the seat. I love that. This summer, I'm planning on going on an airplane. And so I can't wait to see that seatbelt just slide on over. Before I would strain trying to get it on. And so now I am excited to see how that's going to go. That's a non-skill victory that I'm looking forward to. Also, something simple as walking down an aisle. I don't know about you guys, but there are some aisles you walk down that are, I don't mean a wedding aisle, because I might get married. But walking down some of these aisles, in the different stores, or when my daughter and I go to see plays, those sorts of things. The aisle sometimes could be narrow, or somebody else is coming up the aisle and you're coming down. All those things used to frighten me. I used to dread them. I didn't look forward to them. Now I am confident that I'm going to walk down the aisle. I'm not going to bump into anybody. I'm going to sit in my seat and be able to fit. And that right there is such a good feeling. That's such a good feeling. And those kind of moments, you got to savor, you got to enjoy, because if I don't lose another pound, all those things will still be there, right? I just can't gain. But if I don't lose another pound and I just stay where I'm at, I still have all those victories under my hat. And I am so proud of that. That confidence with your clothes fitting, that's another thing. Clothes that you could not fit, that now you can fit into. That's going to be one of the greatest feelings for you on this journey. If you have not already experienced that, I guarantee you. Once you experience that, that's also going to be a motivator for you. Another thing I want you to know is you're not lazy. You're underfueled and you're overwhelmed. You're not giving your body, and you had not been giving your body enough of what it needed to have energy. We just haven't. If you're eating lots of processed foods, that doesn't have the nutrients and minerals you need to keep your body going. So on this journey, I want you to give yourself grace that before you did not know that, before you did not honor your body, but now you know to do that. I always say knowledge is power. So now that we know to do that, let's do that. Let's keep moving forward. Let's forgive our past self for not taking care of our bodies. And let's start now. Let's take care of ourselves now. So I don't care where you are in your journey. I'm 71 pounds down. I have 29 more to go to get to 100. You may be 10 pounds down. You may be 20 pounds down. You may be 80 pounds down. You may be 100 pounds down. Wherever you are on your journey, I want you to give yourself grace. And if you're struggling, move forward from here. Let me repeat that. If you are struggling, make this a new start and move forward from here. Whatever you're doing or whatever you've done to this point, you got to forgive yourself. You got to give your past self grace, and you got to keep it moving. You got to move forward with that plan to refocus. One of the things you can do is when you get up in the morning, I want you to download my morning reflection journal, and I want you to think about these things. So here are some of the things I want you to think about. This is what I think about in the morning. What went well yesterday? Where did I feel challenged or triggered? How did my body feel yesterday? What did I eat, and how did eating that make me feel? Did I take my Mounjaro injection, and how did I feel before and after I took it? What am I proud of from yesterday? What's one thing I can do differently today? And how do I want to feel by the end of the day? How do I want to feel by the end of the day? If you focus on that question, how do I want to feel? That question alone is going to help guide your day, because I've thought of that question and thought, I don't want to feel tired. I don't want to feel sluggish. I don't want to feel uncomfortable. So I'm going to eat healthier, and that is eating protein, eating whole grains, and eating veggies. So cutting out those processed foods. I know if I want to feel good, that's what I need to do. So that alone just helps me focus for my day. So again, if you want to download this sheet, you can use that to help you reflect in the morning. Hopefully it will get you closer to reaching your daily goals. I've lost 70 pounds, but I've gained clarity, I've gained confidence, but more importantly, I feel control over my life, control over what I'm doing, control over what I'm putting in my mouth and how much of it I'm putting in my mouth, and just control over my life. So comment below and let me know what shocked you the most on your journey so far. Subscribe to my channel so we can talk more about weight loss tips and tricks and our GLP-1 journeys. If you want to interact with me live, I am live Sundays at 2. I give a weight loss update. I am live Wednesdays. I call it Wellness Wednesdays at 8:30. And I am live on Fridays. I call it Date Night Friday. So I'm live on Fridays at 8:30. Come on and hang out with me then. Otherwise, you can just catch me in the videos. Don't forget to download the reflection questions for your morning reflection. And I won't say goodbye. I'll say I'll see you in the next video. Remember, slow and steady wins the race. Just don't quit.